I bet you weren't expecting a DeWalt on this channel, were you? But that's just a start. We have loads of other things to explore in this video, all powered by one single battery.
Oops.
So I hope you watch until the end and let me know what you think. We're kicking things off with this DeWalt drill, which comes with two 18-volt 1.5 amp DeWalt batteries and a charger. And surprise, surprise, not only do these things look like they belong together, but they actually work pretty well too. But let's say you've got tools from different brands. Normally you think, well, I need a separate set of batteries for each one. But not anymore. Enter this, the PDnation battery platform, a single battery system that fits almost all major 18-volt tool brands. And it does that by using one of these interchangeable adapters. Let's put it to the test on this DeWalt, starting with a 60mm auger bit and a 35mm spade bit. First up, the benchmark with the included 1.5 amp battery. Test 1. Gentle, no pressure. And honestly, as a parkside user, I am impressed. Smooth and surprisingly powerful for this battery size. Test 2. I'm forcing it a bit, and yeah, it begins to struggle. However, it pushes through and it gets the job done. Now we swap in the PDnation 4 amp battery. And right away, you feel the power increase. Yes, it's a bigger battery, but the point here is that this thing works. It's a legitimate alternative, giving you more power and a longer runtime. For the second and third hole, I did press the drill a lot harder than I did with the original battery, and it's still barely bogged down. So far so good for the all-in-one PDnation battery. Now let's go back to the original DeWalt battery for the 35mm spade bit. I have to say I am becoming a DeWalt fan. A 35mm spade bit, and still the drill barely faces any issues despite the tiny 1.5 amp battery. But now once again, it's time for the 4 amps of the PDnation. Same deal with the 35mm spade bit. The DeWalt battery gets the job done, but so does the PDnation. And even quicker at that. Now it's probably about the time you might jump in with a comment saying that comparing a 1.5 amp against the 4 amp battery is pointless. And I do get that. But the key idea here was to just prove that the PDnation battery is a proper replacement for the battery that was built for this drill. And I'm happy to report that the PDnation delivers both more power and will deliver a longer runtime. Now let me jump in here really quickly in order to remind you to subscribe and like the video if you enjoy the content. Also make sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts on this all-in-one battery. Moving on to some Makita compatible tools. Okay, to be honest, no actual Makitas here, but these might just be the 6th best thing. 1 van tools, an SDS hammer drill, and an impact wrench. Let's get things going with the impact wrench. 70mm socket, the screw is 20 centimeters long, max power, and the battery it came with. If you want to know how this one van compares against other impact wrenches, you should definitely see this video. But in this case, with the original battery, it starts strong, but halfway in, it begins to struggle. But despite this, it managed to drive the screw all the way. Now time to get rid of the Makita-style battery and replace it with the PDnation. And because this all-in-one battery has some lovely 21700 cells inside, boom, major performance increase. Let me know in the comments down below, did you expect that big of a performance jump? Next up, the SDS drill with a 14mm concrete drill bit. First run with the Makita clone battery. What can I say? This is absolutely tragic performance, and I can't blame the tool for that at all. For me, it's all coming from the battery. I will make a full video on this SDS drill at some point, because I think it fully deserves it. But so far, it has come down to this. 2 minutes to complete the task, funky smells, and loads of heat coming from the battery. And now, do you see why I blame the battery? The battery started to melt. It even started smoking, which you can't clearly see because it's a windy day. But look at this. Some of the battery also melted on the tool. Now let's drop in the PDnation battery. How about that? Half the time, no overheating, no melting. It just works. This test showed me two things. The first one is that these cheap tools really need a good battery, because the bare tools are actually good, but these discount batteries they come with are in most cases rather tragic. And the second thing is that the PDnation is miles ahead of these cheap discount batteries. With its 21700 cells and actual performance, it is closer to genuine batteries than it is to anything like this. Now let's talk Milwaukee. First up, this high torque impact wrench, which even with a genuine 5 amp battery struggled with a lug nut, but eventually it did manage to get the job done. And then came the PDnation and my troubles with it. This tool vibrates so hard that the battery uncoupled from its adapter. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Until eventually it just stopped working altogether.
Good news, chaps.
No, what?
Ceenr, the manufacturer, sent a replacement, which came partially charged just like the Milwaukee battery. So both were on 2 bars, and I decided to test them on this 5mm thick piece of steel. With a Milwaukee angle grinder, of course. 2 bars should be enough for such a small job, right? First cut with the Milwaukee battery, no problem at all. Now let's switch to the PDnation, and once again, this is also on 2 bars. And not only did it not complete the cut, it barely scratched the surface of the metal, and the battery is completely dead once again. However, once fully charged, it can match the Milwaukee 5 amp battery, although it seems to last nowhere near as long. I did also try the new fully charged battery on the same impact wrench. Same job, and another failure. As for the genuine Milwaukee battery, well, that's still working as it should. Alright, let's break this down. I've got 2 PDnation batteries here. One is totally dead and the other one reset after being charged. It does look like the second one could not keep up with the power demands of the high torque impact wrench, and it decided to go into some sort of safety mode. As for the first one, it turns out it failed due to this connection. It really did not enjoy those massive vibrations at all. I get it, some of you might be thinking this is just another gimmick, but here's why I don't exactly agree. This is an actual multi-brand 18-volt platform. It mostly works perfectly well. It charges via a USB-C in no longer than an hour and a half with a 45-watt charger. And for the casual DIYer, it might be all they need. Yes, it's got issues. Pointy edges and cheapish feeling plastic, which are not ideal for a job site. But DIYers using this won't be dropping this off scaffolding. They just need something like this in order to run their basic tools from different brands which they got on a massive sale. To me, this is a proof of concept. The Talk Test channel did deep data dives on it and it did really well. I, on the other hand, just threw some real-world chaos at it, and I think in the end, it did rather well for what it is. So, for occasional use, this PDnation definitely makes sense. If it helps you get cheaper bare tools from different brands, I think that's a win. But Ceenr, if you're listening, there's even greater potential here than you might realize. A version 2 of this, with better durability and power output, could dominate the DIY scene and maybe even more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, drop your thoughts in the comments, and consider subscribing for more tool tests and reviews. Thank you for watching.